again and welcome back to class number 377. Are you ready? Let's continue with Luigi Barghini and his son Roberto. Roberto, okay. If you remember, Roberto has just finished his engineering degree. He has just graduated from the University of Milan with a degree in engineering. He focused on two fields of engineering. He specialized in two fields of engineering: organization and robotics. Con C al final. Robotics, mechanics, mathematics. En inglés, la mecánica, la matemática, la logística, la robótica, la ética, todos con CS, menos la música y la química. Chemistry, music, sin ese. No se dice musics, debería. Son de raíz griega. Raíz griega, estas palabras. Ética, ethics. Dinámica, la dinámica, dynamics. La mecánica, mechanics. Quantum mechanics. La logística, logistics. La balística, ballistics. La física, physics, etc. And here, robotics, la robótica, robotics. So, I'm going to read it one time and then otra vez desmenuzar. Okay, yes, we're going to break it down. All right. Luigi Barghini's son, Roberto, has just finished his engineering degree at the University of Milan. Luigi, el padre, Luigi is very proud of him. Orgulloso. Luigi is very proud of him. He's not proud of me, and he's not proud of Marta. He's proud of Roberto. He's very proud of him because he graduated second in his class. Second in his class. Segundo de su promoción. De unos 300, no está mal. It took him 6 years instead of the usual 5 to get his degree, because he specialized in two different fields of industrial engineering, organization and robotics. It's very rare, very unusual, quite strange. It's very rare for a student to specialize in two different fields. In fact, it's not permitted. It's usually not permitted. But 4 years ago, Roberto asked his father to speak to the dean, el decano, escrito dean, to the dean, to speak to como James Dean, yeah? James Dean, James Dean is Jaime Decano. All right. He asked his father to speak to the dean of the engineering school at the university to get permission. Luigi thought his son was a little crazy to want to study two different areas of engineering, but he helped his son get permission to do what he wanted. All right. He helped his son get permission to do what he wanted. Permiso para hacer lo que quería. Okay. The dean of the engineering school knew Luigi quite well. The dean, 30 years before, he had been 1 year ahead of him at the same university. They hadn't been close friends at that time. Luego volveremos. They hadn't been close friends at that time, but since then, Luigi had asked his old schoolmate to send him the best young engineers graduating from the University of Milan. Thanks to some of these engineers, Luigi's company had become the second largest car seat manufacturer in Europe. Now Luigi has to make a decision about Roberto, who just turned 24. Roberto would like to work as a consultant in organization and computer integrated systems. However, Luigi thinks he should work in the family company with his father and sister. Roberto has already received an offer to work for Accenture, a large American company with offices in Milan. And he's tempted to take the job. He thinks that his sister, Anna, is perfectly capable of running the family business with Luigi's help. And besides, he doesn't see much challenge, Toma Chico, in working in a car seat factory, even if it's the second biggest in Europe. Luigi thinks that with Anna and Roberto, the company could easily become the #1 supplier of car seats in Europe. All right. Okay, let's go back. All right. His son, Roberto, has just finished his engineering degree at the University of Milan. And of course, the father, Luigi, is very proud of him. Muy orgulloso de él. He's very proud of him. Why? Well, he's naturally proud of his son, but especially proud because he graduated. Se graduó. He graduated. Ju. La D más la U tiene sonido de Jew, como la palabra judío, Jew, Jewish, Jew. Graduate, gradual, gradual, gradualmente, gradually, graduate, graduation, education, educación, la D más la U, education. Es como la T más la U, future, Portugal, picture, lecture, architecture. La T más la U es chu, la D más la U es Jew, excepto cuando empieza la palabra during, aunque los británicos dicen during. Educate, education, graduation. Education, graduation, to graduate. All right. Well, Luigi is proud of his son because he graduated second in his class. Class, recordarás de ayer, es promoción, además de clase, distinción. ¿Qué clase tiene? Class es la promoción. Se graduó segundo de su promoción de 300 estudiantes. He graduated second in his class. It took him 6 years instead of the usual 5. It took him 6 years. Tardó 6 años. It took him. It took him. It took you. It took her. It took me. It took us. It took them. It took him 6 years instead of, enlacemos, instead of the usual 5. To do what? To get his degree. Because he specialized in 2 different fields of engineering: organization and robotics. It's very rare for a student to specialize. It's not common. It's not common. It's not usual. It's unusual. It's uncommon. It's very rare for a student to specialize in 2 different fields. In fact, it's usually not permitted. It's usually not allowed. Lo mismo, to allow, to permit. It's usually prohibited. But not in this case. Why? Because 4 years ago, Roberto asked his father to speak to the dean of the engineering school at the University of Milan. All right. Why? To get permission to do 2 different fields, to specialize in 2 different fields of industrial engineering. So, well, Luigi thought his son was a little crazy to want to study 2 different fields or 2 different areas. Áreas. Area. Pronunciación de área. Air, como el aire, air, area. He thought his son was crazy to want to study 2 different fields or 2 different areas of engineering, but he helped his son get permission to do what he wanted. Ahora, the dean, el decano, the dean of the engineering school knew Luigi quite well. I know Luigi quite well also. And the dean of engineering knew him quite well. Yes, why? Because 30 years before, he had been 1 year ahead of him at the same university. So 30 years ago, the dean of the current dean of the engineering school at the University of Milan was also a student together with Luigi. You see, Luigi has a degree. Luigi Barghini, the father, has a degree in industrial engineering from the University of Milan. And he finished his degree about 28 or 29 years ago. Now, when he was at the university, there was a student 1 year older, 1 year ahead of him. Behind is rezagal, detrás. Ahead is por delante. Delante, detrás. Ahead of him, behind him. So Luigi was for example, Luigi was in the 3rd year, and the current dean was in the 4th year. So the dean was 1 year ahead of Luigi. At that time, they didn't know. Well, they knew each other because they were together in the same school, la misma facultad. However, they were not friends at that time. They were schoolmates. Compañeros de colegio, de escuela, de ingeniería en este caso. They were schoolmates. 30 years before, the dean had been 1 year ahead of Luigi at the same university. They no habían sido amigos, o sea, una amistad estrecha. They hadn't been close friends. Close means cercano. Close. Se pronuncia close. Se escribe igual que cerrar. Ahora bien, escucha la pronunciación. Close the door, please. Marta. Marta said, ¿por qué yo? Because you're close to the door and I'm not. Cierra la puerta, Marta, porque estás cerca de la puerta y yo estoy lejos de la puerta. Ahora, close se usa 2 veces aquí con pronunciación diferente, pero ortografía idéntica. Sorry, English is crazy. Close the door, please, because you are close to the door. Close to, far from. Near, far from. Close to, far from. Mercurio, el planeta. Mercury is close to the sun. Neptune is far from the sun. Close to, far from. Close. La misma palabra para cerrar se pronuncia close. Zaragoza. Okay? Yes. Crazy English, right? Okay. Sorry. Close. Now, close también es estrecho, una amistad estrecha. Tengo una relación estrecha con esa persona. Close relationship. Close. Te siento cercano. I feel you're close to me. Es una persona muy cercana. Very close. Close. So, 30 years before, the dean had been 1 year ahead of Luigi at the same university. They hadn't been, no habían sido, pluscuamperfecto, close friends at that time. At that time. En aquel entonces. A la sazón. Okay, pero desde entonces. But since then, Luigi has asked, presente perfecto, con since, desde entonces hasta hoy inclusive, tiempo vigente aún. 30 años, sí, pero vigente. Since then, Luigi has asked his old schoolmate, classmate, escrito mate, classmate, compañero de clase, schoolmate, compañero de colegio de escuela, roommate, compañero de habitación, soulmate, compañero del alma. Marta, do you have a soulmate? Yeah, she has a soulmate. Yeah, her husband, right? Your husband is your soulmate. Mate, escrito mate, jaque mate, okay? Pero checkmate, ojo, jaque mate in chess, we say check, como comprobar, chequear. You say jaque, we say check, como comprobar, chequear. Checkmate, checkmate, all right. Check, and then checkmate, mate. So, Luigi, well, since then, since graduating, 30 years or 28 years ago, Luigi has asked his old schoolmate to send him the best young engineers graduating from the University of Milan. Yeah, so you say, hey, Carlo, I don't know the name of the dean, el decano. Let's say the dean's name is Carlo. Pronto, Carlo? Io sono Luigi. Okay. I don't speak Italian, eh? Io sono Luigi Barghini. Yeah, okay. Yes. And he says, I need good engineers, young, the best from the university when they graduate. Because Luigi was and is an ambitious industrialist and businessman. And he wants to create the biggest and the best car seat factory in Europe, or maybe in the world. But he needs the best engineers. If you want to create an empire, big or small, you need the best people. You need good people. And if you find the best people, never let them go. No los sueltes jamás. The best people will create good futures for you. But you need to be a good leader. You need to inspire the people. And they will. When people are inspired, they will create miracles, milagros. And so Luigi called Carlo, Luigi Barghini, I need your best people. I need 3 engineers for this department, and this department. And send me. And so, since graduating 30 years ago or 28 years ago, Luigi has asked the dean, his old schoolmate, Carlo, to send him the best young, fíjate en la pronunciación de joven, young, yellow yedre young. No digas por favor Jung. Jung era un psicólogo suizo, competidor con el otro famoso, Mr. I can't remember the names of people now. Young, younger than springtime. Are you young? So, he said, send me the best young engineers graduating, que se gradúan, graduantes, digamos, para crear una palabra, from the University of Milan. Thanks to some of these engineers, gracias a algunos de esos ingenieros, thanks to some of these engineers, some of Somalia, some of, samovar, summer, el verano, summer, some of, algunos de. Thanks to some of these engineers, some of, enlaza por favor, para hacer fluido el inglés y facilitar. Si te puedes obligar, practicando una y otra vez, forzándote, obligándote a enlazar, empiezas gradually to gain fluency and quality. Thanks to some of, esta frase, thanks to some of these engineers, gracias a algunos de estos ingenieros, thanks to some of these engineers, gracias a, thanks to. Ahora, ojo, recuerda, gracias a Dios, thank God. Oh, gracias a Dios. Thank God. No hay ese. Thanks God, no. Thanks to some of these engineers, thanks to some of these engineers, thanks to some of these engineers, Luigi's company had become the second biggest car seat manufacturer of car seats in Europe. Now, ante esta situación, now his son, Roberto, has just graduated. So now Luigi has to make a decision about Roberto. Why? Why does Luigi have to make a decision? No, Luigi. It's not your problem. It's Roberto's decision, right? Who has to make a decision about Roberto's future? In your opinion, Roberto or his father, Luigi? Well, in my opinion, it's Roberto's decision. It's his life. Of course, Luigi is a typical Latin father. Spanish, Italian, Portuguese. They want the family, la familia. Okay, the family. But Roberto has his own ideas. Roberto, so it's the episode says now Luigi has to make a decision. ¿Cómo que Luigi tiene que tomar una decisión sobre Roberto? Es Roberto. What do you mean? ¿Cómo que Luigi? En inglés se dice, what do you mean Luigi has to make a decision? No, it's Roberto's decision. Don't you agree? Yeah. Marta agrees with me. Marta agrees with me. It's not Luigi's decision. Of course, Luigi paid for the studies. Yeah, 6 years at the University of Milan. That's a long time. It becomes expensive. So Luigi has a certain right, cierto derecho, maybe. But I think Marta agrees with me, that Roberto should make the decisions about Roberto and not Luigi, the father. All right. How old is Roberto? He has just turned. He's just turned 24. Acaba de tornar 24, o sea, acaba de cumplir los 24 años. We say tornar es girar. Hay un giro en el día del cumpleaños. You turn from 1 year, 23 to 24. So a few weeks ago, Roberto was 23, and now he's 24. All right, so now Luigi has to make a decision. No, about Roberto, who just turned 24. Roberto would like to work as a consultant. As a consultant. Fíjate en inglés dice como un consultor. Suena rarísimo en castellano. O sea, aquí decís, le gustaría trabajar de consultor. O le gustaría trabajar como consultor. Ok. En inglés consultante, consultant. En inglés no. Le gustaría trabajar como un consultor. Como un bombero. Como un profesor. He would like to work as. He would like to work. Le gustaría trabajar, no? It says he would like to work as a consultant in organization and computer integrated systems. All right. Theme. Yes, computer integrated manufacturing. Diseño asistido por ordenador y fabricación asistida por ordenador y luego unirlos en sistemas integrados de fabricación. That's computer, como lo dicen aquí, computer integrated systems. It's very interesting, eh? Poof. There's a lot of opportunity. Well, it's fascinating. It's fascinating how to reduce the costs of manufacturing, maintaining or improving the quality at the same time. Es un reto fascinante, la fabricación. Siempre hay lugar para mejora. There's always room, se dice room como habitación. There is always room for improvement. there's always a better way. This is like ingeniería, métodos, tiempos, procesos, etc. It's fascinating. And the design of the product. To design the product in such a way that the manufacturing is easy and not complicated. Many times the designers design incredible product, but then the manufacturing engineers say, we can't make it. It's too expensive to make with this design. So there's always a friction between designers, design engineers, and process or manufacturing engineers. But computer systems now, computer integrated systems, bring together design and manufacturing. It's very interesting in my opinion. But I don't have time to pursue this subject any further because I have to go. Marta's telling me to stop. See you tomorrow.